Has anyone been to the bank recently? Did you realize? Good. Did you realize the pen that you use is chained up to the counter? I always wonder if I can trust them with my money. Why can't they trust me with their pen? Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. I know you came out just to support me today. Today, I'd like to share with you my thoughts on the concept of trust. And as you go through your day-to-day, I encourage you to pay attention to the situations around you that might be affecting or benefiting you directly or indirectly out of the premise of trust. But first, let's unpack a little bit. Let's review what's the function and operation of trust. Put it simply, trust is the foundation of all good relationships. And relationship is the key to happiness and living a full life. So, how does it work? Put it very simply again, trust means to have confidence in someone or something. And so, not a good accounting, there's a debit and there's a credit on the ledger. Similarly, in trust, there's a giving and there's a receiving end of the trust. If I only receive and do not give trust, I'm not living in reality. If I only give trust and do not earn trust, I'm not trustworthy. So neither one of those is going to lead to happiness and good relationships. So next, I would like to talk about the 5 principles of trust. There are 5, and they're important. First, competence. This is pretty obvious. Competence means my ability to perform. Who is going to believe someone who doesn't listen to instructions and doesn't do right, correct? And number 2, consistency. And that's me keeping my promises and obligations most of the time. And this is very important in our society these days. Number 3 is characteristics. That's being honest, sincere, and have integrity. Number 4, transparency. And that is to have no hidden agenda whatsoever and being open in my communication. Number 5 is pretty obvious, intent, and that is do well by others. So, by a show of hands, how many parents are in this room? Good. If your parents, you know that one of the most dreadful and antagonizing events is teaching your kids how to drive. And I'm lucky. My daughter and I are currently going through this process. But as she increases her competency in driving and make good driving consistently, of course, with good attitude, I'm trusting her more and more. And likewise, she trusts and believes that my being strict with her is out of the place of good intent. Well, in the process, there was harmony. Who am I kidding? There were definitely a lot of moments that I'm feeling sick to my stomach. There were definitely a lot of lots of prayers and literally tears. I kid you not. One time we pulled out in the parking lot, we both cried. And then she cried, and then I cried. But what I wanted to share with you is that it's all worth it. At the end, trust and love conquer it all. And next, I would like to give you an example. And here, I'd like you to see how the 5 principles came into play. So, let's just say you went to a mechanic, trusting that they are going to fix your car. That's very logical, based on the type of business that you're walking into. But giving the mechanic your social security and blood type, it's not logical. And, who would send their car to a restaurant, right? So, trusting a husband to fold the clothes versus his moral standard is 2 different things. So, here's how the 5 principles came into play. Well, history tells us there are men and women who sacrifice their lives because they trust in justice. Also, there are men and women who wasted their lives because they misplaced the trust and also straight on abusing it. So next, I would like to do an illustration. Hopefully this will bring this home. I have a bag filled with water, and I'm going to actually poke through the bag, and you say, great, what's the big deal? What if I told you, I have a bag, I'm going to poke through a hole on top of somebody's head? Do we have a volunteer? Great. Great. Awesome. Let's do this. You ready?
Yeah.
Am I trustworthy?
Yes.
I haven't practiced this. There's no consistency though.
Okay.
All right, guys. This will either be the most interesting Toastmasters sessions that you've ever been, or the worst. That's when you plump. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
So as we can see, when I ask the questions to volunteer, there are several things running through your mind. Is Tom trustworthy? Has he practiced this before? How does that going to work? Do we have to have like 3 yeses on the 5 principles and 2 no to really make the decision no, or vice versa? So again, as you go through your day-to-day, I want you to pay attention to those circumstances around you when you feel like, okay, maybe I should or shouldn't trust this person. So thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate it.